To my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this two-piece. So the top is going to be a wrap top with a very exaggerated puffy sleeve, and then the bottom is a pencil skirt, a mini pencil skirt that has a slit. So the first thing we're going to do is to start cutting our bodice. So this is going to be the back bodice here, and then as you can see, I placed it on the front bodice, which is folded into two. And then the width of the back bodice is just about, the width of the back here is just the bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1.5 inch or 1 inch depending on you. But I would like to have some ease, so I added about half an inch to it because I don't want the top too tight. So but if you don't want that, you can just add just your seam allowance, that is just 1 inch. So after that, now the next thing is to determine the length you want yours to be. You can do directly from your shoulder to your waist, or you can do below your waist, or you can do above your waist. It depends on you. So right here I have about 19 inches or so, or 19.5. So if I take away about 1.5 from here, so when I'm done, my top will be at 18 inches. That's 1 inch below my waist. So now the next thing I'm going to do here is just to insert my measurements. So I'm going to go right here at the top, and then I'm going to start all my measurements here. Now I'm going to mark them all on the back panel. This extension here in front is about 6 inches or so, just for the wrap part of the top. So now what I'm going to do is just to come across here and then insert my shoulder measurement, which is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. I'm going to mark that here, come down here, and then mark 1 inch of shoulder slope, and then insert my armhole measurement, which is about 18 divided by 2 is going to be 9. Mark that here, and then take this up all the way to the top, and then give it a curve for your armhole. So then after that, come back to the neckline here and mark the neck width you want to work with. It depends on you. You can do basic neckline of 3 inches, or you can add a little bit to it and do like 3.5. So I'm going to do 3.5 and then connect it this way to the 1 inch of the shoulder slope that you marked here. And then after that, the next thing you're going to do is to come down to the waist, and then you're going to insert the waist you're working with. So divide it by 4, whatever you get, mark that here, and then you're going to add extra 2 inches to this because I want to add that to mine. But if you decide not to add that to yours, you can just do your waist measurement divided by 4 plus just your seam allowance. But in this here, I'm going to be adding that, so I'm going to just mark that here and then add 2 inches, 1 inch of darting and 1 inch of seam allowance, because I'm adding that to this because it's an Ankara fabric. I just want it to have some to fit better. But if I was using like a lighter fabric, I think I can do it without just adding any dart. So now the next thing I'm going to do is just to connect the waist, the bust to the waist, and then I'm going to go ahead now and insert my dart. So the dart is just your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So mark that here. So for me, that's 8 divided by 2 is 4, and then my dart is going to be somewhere here. It's going to go all the way up to the chest line. So now the next thing I have to do is just to go ahead and cut all this here. I'll cut the armhole all the way up and then cut out the. You're going to cut out, mark your 1 inch of neck depth here. So I'm going to cut that out also. At this point now, my back panel is done. I'm going to separate it here, and then after that, this is the center line here, from where I remove this back panel now. So the next thing, let me place it back so you guys can see. So this is the center line here, right? The center line, this line that I just marked here. So you're going to mark from the tip here to where you want the V to be. It depends on you. So you can do 7 inches, you can do lower than that, you can do 8 inches. I'm going to do 7, and then I'm going to remove this from here. And then after that, the next thing you're going to do is to remember you need 1 inch to fold this edge, right? So I came up here by that 1 inch that I need to 1 inch for seam allowance of the end here, and then I need 2 inches for my belt. That's the tie that will wrap around. So mark 2 inches. So in total now I've gone up by 3 inches. After that, now I'm going to connect it to this one here. I'm going to connect it from here to here, and then after that I'm going to connect from where the neckline is, because this is where the 3 inches of neckline is. Like, remember where I cut out this one in for the back? So for the front neckline, this is where my 3 inches is after the shoulder slope. So now I'm going to take it now and connect it to this, that 7 inches depth that I came down by. So connect it that way into that line, and that's it. So just like that, I'm going to go ahead and cut this all the way to the end. So guys, now that I've done that, I'm also going to go ahead and separate the front panel into two. So I'm going to cut this open. So now you see, the next thing you also have to do is on this your armhole, you're going to find the center line. So halfway through for me is going to be about 4.5. That's from this end here to this point here, sorry, about 4 inches or so. And then down there you're going to go in by about half an inch, because remember your front armhole is supposed to be deeper than the back armhole. So after that, I'm going to connect it at the top with a straight line, and then I'm going to use a curve to connect it at the lower part. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and cut out this armhole. So this piece here, I'm going to cut it out. So guys, from that part that I notched here, my dart is going to come up here about 6 inches. That's if I take away the 1 inch for my folding of the edge here, then my dart is going to go up all the way to the somewhere here from this point. So I'm going to dart it on the two sides of the front, one dart here and then the other dart here. So this is the front of my top at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and dart it, and then I'm going to attach the back panel to the back. So, and then I'm also going to give it a dart at the back. So now that we've cut this, I'm going to go ahead and also show you guys how we're going to cut the sleeve. So to cut the sleeve, this is what we're using here. This fabric here is folded into two. Right now it's folded into two, right? It's folded into two, and now I'm going to fold it into four. So I'm going to fold it one more time. So I folded it again. So now, because this is because I'm cutting two sleeves at a time, so that's why. And then my sleeve, I want it to be about just up to here. That's 13 inches up to somewhere here on my hand. So guys, after that, I'm going to just go ahead and insert my, so now the width I have here is about 15 inches, right? 15 inches is what I have here. So what I'm going to do, because this fabric is starchy, that's why I'm using extra 5 inches here, because remember my armhole is going to be about 9 inches. That's what we used before, right? So if I mark it all the way down 9 inches from the top here, so distance from here to here is about 9 inches. I'm sure this line might not be straight, so let me go back in and straighten it. So from here to here is that 9 inches, or you can just go in and measure around the armhole of your sleeve. That way you can figure it out better. So after that, now the next thing you're going to do is just to go ahead and, so I've marked distance of 9 inches from here to here, here to here, here to here. This extra about 6 inches here is just for the exaggerated puffy sleeve that I'm making. Remember, that is what we are cutting here. So after that, you're going to come down here by 3 inches or 2 inches. Let's say I do 2 inches just because of the puffiness. So I've marked 2 inches. Now after that, I'm going to mark my cap height, which is about 4 inches, which is down here. So guys, these 2 inches are added here, this space here, all these things are what will help my sleeve to be puffy enough. This 2 inches here is just to give it puffiness at the top. This 5 inches here is just to give it puffiness by the side. So that's the reason. So now after that, this from this part here now is where our sleeve starts. From here, this is where we are going to draw in normal sleeve. From here now, inside of this part. So now after marking your cap height, which is from here to here, we used 4 inches. You're going to go ahead and draw in your basic sleeve, right? You're just going to go ahead and draw in your basic sleeve. I'm going to connect it with a straight line all the way to the end, and the measurement I have here is 10 inches on this line. Mark it halfway through 5 inches, connect it, curve down, and then curve above. Then that halfway through, which was the 5 inches you marked, you're going to take it and take it up this way. You're going to take it up into this part, because remember, this is how you mark a puffy sleeve, right? This is how you mark a puffy sleeve, by extending it this way. That's how you get the basic puffy sleeve. So now I've marked this part up, and then my sleeve is just going to be this way. So from here now to this part, I'm going to cut it out. So guys, every other thing here is going to be gathered this way, like all these parts here. Let me notch the top part so I don't make a mistake. So I'm going to notch this here. I've notched it now. So every other thing is going to be gathered into my sleeve, and then I'm going to also fold the end. So I'm also going to fold this end with 1 inch, just so that I can be able to pass elastic at the end. So I'm going to, as you can see, I opened it up now, and this is 2 sleeves that I have here. So the length I have here in total is about 20 inches, or 20.5 actually is what I have here. So this is my sleeve here. I've cut it. I'm just going to take this top part here, gather it into the armhole of my sleeve, and then put elastic at the bottom part, just